Welcome to the second part of dengue virus. In the first part, we have seen about the species varieties, also their manifestations. It is an RNA virus, and let us look how the clinical manifestation of dengue progresses. The entire course of dengue fever can be divided in three parts. That is the febrile phase, second is the critical phase, and third is the recovery phase. Let us look into the febrile phase first. It is associated with high grade fever, which is biphasic in nature. It is breaking and then returning for 1 or 2 days. So the person will say that he was continuously under fever for a day or two, and then he was fine, and again fever came again. Generalized pain, which is too much severe, it can be muscular and bony pain both, associated with headache. Febrile phase will also manifest some skin symptoms like rashes on the first or the second day, and later in the course of illness, they appear as measle-like eruptions, some petechial hemorrhagic spots, that is, red spots, that do not disappear when the skin is pressed, because this is the reason behind this broken capillaries. They are visible at some sensitive points where the skin and the mucous junction is there. So, some petechiae, that is, petechial hemorrhagic spots, can be seen. Now, the second part, that is the critical phase. The critical phase, which follows the resolution of high fever, typically lasts for 2 days. 2 days, which is a too longer period, although it seems that 2 days are not a too long period. But in this critical phase, where the fever has lasted for quite a long time, and hemorrhage has been appearing uh, in bits and pieces at various locations. So it is as it is affecting different organs also. So organ dysfunction and severe bleeding from gastrointestinal tract. It is also associated with shock. So we have discussed about the DSS, that is dengue shock syndrome, and dengue hemorrhagic fever. Although the it is very uncommon, or the number of patients appearing with shock syndrome and hemorrhagic fever are quite less. Still, they are present. So what happens here is, as there is oozing of blood through the various small capillaries into the interstitial spaces, the amount of blood is getting less, and there is no clotting being done. As we have discussed, there is thrombocytopenia also associated. So, secondly, those who are suffering, who have already suffered from such type of dengue fever earlier, and we have discussed that how does this appears. That is the dengue shock syndrome and hemorrhagic fever. It is actually a complication created by the previous serotype, the antibodies already present in the blood made due to the previous serotype. And when the new serotype appears, there is a complex form, and that increases the risk of hemorrhagic fever and shock syndrome. And the last is the recovery phase. What happens in recovery phase is The fluid which oozed out. Now, see, now the platelet count has increased because as it is a recovery phase. So the platelet count has increased. The fluid which was being released into the interstitial space gets reabsorbed. Uh, Severe itching and slow heart rate is also observed. And during this stage, a overload state may occur. If it affects the brain, it may cause reduced level of consciousness and seizures. So this is how the recovery phase looks like. Now coming to the important part, that is the laboratory diagnosis. The first way is to detect the antibody detection and antigen detection. Obviously, they are done through serum. Serum analysis will give you antigen and antibody present, antigen for particular virus and antibody made by our body for that virus. We can also go for isolation of virus and PCR technique. That is, we can either isolate that particular virus or know about that virus by polymerase chain reaction. How can we collect this virus? It's through serum plasma or from the whole blood, or we can go from some autopsy also. And the particular mosquito, it is Aedes aegypti, from that we can come to know about the virus. Hematological diagnosis, there is thrombocytopenia and hemoconcentration. There is more than 20% rise in hematocrit value are indicated indications for dengue. Third is the microbiological diagnosis, where the virus is isolated by infection of mice using infected mosquitoes. So it's a very unusual method where laboratory mice are being infected by the mosquito. Along with that, detection of IgM antibodies in blood is also done. ELISA test is done to detect the IgM antibodies. And here a point is to be noted that this immunoglobulin M, it usually appears on the fifth day after the onset of symptom, and usually they persist for 1 to 3 months. So, see, it's very important to know the history of the patient here. If a person presenting with fever and you go for a serological test for that person and you find that IgM is quite high, then you need to reconfirm about his history, that whether he was suffering from dengue earlier or not. If he confirms that he was suffering from dengue for last or had dengue 1 or 3 months back, then it would be a two-way decision for you. First of all, you should confirm that the present fever is actually from the dengue virus or not. Suppose if you get the answer yes, then it can lead to complications of shock and hemorrhage. Other than IgM, IgG test can also be done, or presence of IgG can also be detected, which usually appears later than IgM. Now we have one more test, that is NS1 antigen. This NS1 antigen test is immunochromatographic test, which is a specific test for detection of dengue virus. There are other tests like rapid test for detection of antigen, which appears on the first day of fever. It takes around, it's a rapid strip test is done. It takes only around 15 minutes. And PCR, as we have discussed, we can go for PCR also. So, what happens in the process of dengue fever? Humans are initially infected through a mosquito vector. The bite of Aedes aegypti will release this virus into the human blood. Initial interaction with cell occur with the virus ability to infect the cell. These virus uses cell receptor molecule to enter into the cell, and the first cell that will enter is obviously the WBC. Then virus will replicate into the target organ, also infect the blood vessel, white blood cell, and lymphatic tissues. Again, as these cells will get filled up, they will release virus in the circulating blood, and from here, mosquito that bite the host will receive the virus. So the new mosquito will receive the virus from humans when they are released from the WBCs and lymphatic tissues. So this is the cycle from man to mosquito, and from mosquito to man, and again from man to mosquito. Now about the treatment line. Although there is no specific treatment present for dengue, and this is something which makes the morbidity and mortality rate in cases of dengue to be quite high. As there is a lot of loss of fluid, so you can have a plasma volume replacement. If the patient gets restless due to pain, then sedatives may be administered along with the painkillers. As there is hemorrhage associated, so blood transfusion is always kept as an option. Oral rehydration and intravenous fluid to replace the fluid is done. Now about the prevention. All efforts of control are aimed against the mosquitoes because if mosquitoes are not there, it won't be transmitted to humans. So elimination of all the mosquitoes is done the same way as it was done for the malaria parasite. Because the catchment areas or the place where they breed have to be avoided. Also, specific actions like bed nets, mosquito repellents are used. Although there is no vaccine available, but measures should be taken to avoid the hemorrhagic shock, the hemorrhagic fever, and shock syndrome. Epidemiologically, it's very important. It's almost covering the major area of the world. Around more than 2.5 billion people live in the area that have a high risk of infection, and over 100 million cases of dengue infection are reported each year globally. And we have discussed about the hemorrhagic fever, so we have 5% fatality rate in that also. So this map is showing you the areas which are very much prone for dengue virus. The red ones are the ones which can show epidemic problems, whereas the pink ones, those where Aedes aegypti is found. Thank you. That was all about dengue virus.